What up, family? You already know what time it is. Y'all already know what time it is. It's your main man. Her shine on Dr. Life. For all of y'all who don't know who her shine on is, we just put the logo up there, right in the corner. For all of y'all who don't know. So when you hear me use terms supernatural, understand we separating ourselves from the rest. All of my people, listen. You got an uncle out in California. If you belong to me, you belong to an uncle out in California. If you belong to Uncle Reese, you got another uncle out in California. If you belong to Uncle Bruce Webb and Tracy Webb, you got another uncle out in California. If you belong to Kanisha Lumpkin in any way, shape, or form, you got an uncle out in California. And your uncle out in California, just in case, because we haven't done right by y'all. We haven't had the family and friends days that we always had when we was coming up. I'm taking full responsibility for you not knowing who your family is and what your pedigree is. We haven't had our family and friends days. We haven't had our nothing. Shout out to Reese. Shout out to Bernie. Shout out to Stan. These is individuals who will drive across the country just to look you in your face. Shout out to my peoples down in Atlanta doing it like we all supposed to be doing. Ebby, Desi, Nikki, Colleen, Donald, all of my Wilson clan that done went down to Atlanta. Listen, hats off, family. Hats off. I take my hats off. Hats off, Lily. Lily hosted us for years. But when I look up and I hear that my son, Little Dome, when I get the phone call, the same phone call that I got about his daddy, Big Dome. Big Dome shot. Little Dome shot. My whole life has been dedicated to taking back the streets and breaking the cycle of the streets, so that no family has to get that call. Listen, man, we not even on none of this fake little made up publicity stunt Black Lives Matter. And listen, our whole life has been. You see what's on my shirt? You see what's on my shirt? Wish I would disrespect the work that my mama did and telling us we was aliens in this nation. We better live like it. I wish I would give credit 2012 to some clowns who got a budget, who got Oprah Winfrey behind them and George Soros. I wish I would acknowledge some clowns. My mama laid down her life. I wish I would acknowledge some publicity stunt. Don't represent my mama in no way, shape, or form. Don't have no spirit. Don't listen. They can't hold a candle to my mama. I wish I would go and stand and represent. Listen, they can't hold the candle to the person who say you an alien in this nation. You better live like it. You better ascend, boy. You got a ladder that goes from earth to heaven. You better climb that ladder. You better look at that logo. Black Lives Matter. You ain't got no life. If you think you black, if you still to this day, my babies, if you still think you black, yo, my grandparents, my elders used to say, We used to try and get mad. Yo, they teasing me, blah, blah, blah. What's your name, boy? This is exactly what they used to say. My grandma Legette, my grandma Webb. What's your name, boy? Damon. Do you know your name? Yeah, I know my name, grandma. Did they call it? No. So why is you responding? They said some words, but those words ain't attached to you. What is your name? My name Damon. Last time I checked, none of those individuals who went down to some place formed a 501c3, filed a 501c3, and created a group so that they can organize you. Listen, when the Good Samaritan was about handling the business for his people, the Good Samaritan didn't go and stop and file an organization. The Good Samaritan didn't go to Oprah Winfrey to get funding, to be sent to school, to be educated on how to teach you the principles of communism, to put you in harm's way. These individuals formed an organization, collected millions of dollars, and while you're on the front line talking about Black Lives Matter, they're all going and buying properties in LA, $40 million, 50, they done profited $50 million, $60 million. You on the front lines, you dying. You on the front lines, you getting choked out. Not knowing that that's the same thing they did to the Black Panther Party. They got some individuals, they put some money behind them, they sent them down and taught them communism. They came back and taught the people communism. The people bought the communism and they went to the streets. And in the United States Constitution, it says, on paper, we're a Christian nation. And when you declare you're a communist, you declare you're an atheist by faith. That's what y'all don't understand. They playing games with y'all. Because the founding fathers of the U.S. knew that when they get their brothers to come teach you communism, because they put on paper, we are a God-fearing nation and we will attack any enemies and aliens. The moment you declare you Black Lives Matter, which is the communist thing, you give permission in the United States of America for the police, the federal government, and that's why you could protest all you want. When you go into court, you on paper have said you're a communist. You have no faith. And on paper, they have said they're Christian. It don't matter the fact that y'all have the same faith. None of y'all niggas worship God. But because on paper, you fell for the trap. So because some elders taught us simple principles. What's your name, baby? We haven't gone and tried to get no funding, but every day of our life, we've taken every young person around us and handed to them what our elders poured into us. You have never heard me take credit for none of this. Listen, I ain't get all. I am just an obedient team player. That's what I don't understand. When it comes to following directions, ask any coach, ask any team. Why? My parents enforced it to the full letter of the law. You will obey. Don't matter what you feel like today. Don't matter what you want to do, what you like to do. Your feelings don't got nothing to do with obedience. You got 8 hours in school. If you can't control your body, your mouth for 8 hours, I will help you. There was periods when we was little kids where they would just have us sit down, sit still. The reason they able to give y'all kids ADD, cause y'all ain't train y'all kids. The reason they able to lay, because y'all ain't training y'all kids. That's it. That's the only listen. The only reason that y'all die, my babies, is because your parents stopped training. And if you want to go back to winning, instead of watching TV, do you know that they have made y'all an algorithm? Check this out, y'all. Listen to me, y'all young people. There is a bank by the name of Goldman Sachs. There is a bank on Wall Street by the name of Goldman Sachs. And when Barack Obama, understand, liberal bankers, they want the government to get in permission to rob, steal, to take as much money out of you and the system as possible. And any president, the more liberal you are, you are their best friend. And when they saw they had Barack Obama, a liberal president, just because his skin color does not mean he belongs to you, yo. David and Goliath had the same skin color. David cut Goliath's head off because Goliath had the wrong spirit. David and Saul had the same skin color. God killed Saul dead and gave the crown to David because Saul had the wrong spirit. Y'all gonna learn to stop claiming these individuals and not checking the fruit of their spirit. Y'all gonna learn to stop embracing individuals as y'all friends and not checking the fruit of their spirit and not seeing if they got the same parental training. Listen, if they parents ain't trained them, then they willing to cross barriers that you've been trained not to cross them barriers. When you put yourself in a flock of buzzards, a flock of, I don't care who they are. When you received a certain type of training that has made you a lion, you can't run with hyenas. It's not their fault that they're hyenas. What you're supposed to do is say, yo, I got an Aunt Bev. I got a Grandma Webb that said every child in this community is in our lion pride. So the same stuff that my grandma and my auntie and my peoples give me, I'm going to give you. You no longer a hyena. You in this Lion King of Kings pride now. That's called being the head and not the tail. So now you've upgraded. You've broken the cycle. Even, listen, man, you supposed to, when you get a blessing, you ain't supposed to play down to the level because it's easier. It's less work. That's why it's called grind. That's why it's called grind. And if y'all want to know, it's a whole new economy that's up for grabs right now. For those of y'all who got the right shine, the right fashion statement. When my son Xavier was born, my mama told me to bless him. And I also created a trust fund for him the day he was born. Gave him a brand new name for the trust fund and everything. And it was for his future bride, Tata Seti. Tata Seti is the name that Adam gave Eve in the beginning. She is the mother of the living. Tata Seti. My mother knew what the in the beginning covenant was. My mother knew that I had found Tata Seti in my wife, Kanisha. My mother knew that my wife, Kanisha Tata Seti, would give birth to queens, and she told me to anoint them. Dasia Tata Seti fashion statement. Destiny Tata Seti fashion statement. And now, just like in the Word of God, where the Father gave the prodigal son his wealth, his treasure. When he came of age, I know the plan that I have for you. My mom went to school, to business school, and she decided to go into early childhood development, and she decided to invest and create a school that could be a pipeline that when they come to the age that we and our family would do exactly like the father did for the prodigal son. But instead of the prodigal son going out and squandering his wealth, my mom elevated the bar and said, listen, train up my children so they don't fumble. Train up my children so when you transfer the trust funds to them, they don't fumble. It's called Supernaturals. Her single eye shine on. The single eye shine is my mother's dream and vision. The currency are her babies. Some other family is going to get a dowry, receive a dowry, a priceless dowry and an inheritance from my king. And we put the work in that we do because we expect to get kings on the same level for our daughters who are queens. Ain't no unequally yoked out here. So I'm out here every day. We putting together, we physically working out our heirs. Because not only did we put a company together for each one of them, so when they turn 23, we can hand them their priceless inheritance. We also put another company together, Supernatural Matchmakers. The Supernatural Matchmakers. Our parents used to do it all over the city. Family and Friends Day. Hold events where we could come together. And parents who was training up their children in the way that they should go. Like-minded training. All used to come together and eat, sing, dance, run, jump, play every year. We just went away from the blueprint. Once again, our people down in Atlanta doing it. But the only difference is the word of God says when these sons and daughters, when they unite, they're supposed to have a dowry. There's a financial piece that's missing. It's called the birthright and the first fruit blessings. Our daughters get the birthright blessing. Our sons get the first fruits blessings. So all we doing is we adding to the work of the Father grind that we do daily. We added a monetary value for individuals who want to play on this dream team, who want to work out with us daily. And then we're going to come together, we're going to eat, we're going to celebrate. Us adults, we got some weddings to plan. Supernatural wedding planners, that's what the supernatural matchmakers is. Supernatural matchmakers. What y'all don't know, behind the scenes, the European families of the world, they do it behind the scenes. They got exclusive clubs. They got exclusive groups. And they will only allow their sons and daughters to court in certain families. They call them bloodlines. And we know different. So now we just publicly putting together for the whole world to see the supernatural matchmakers. And every day we get out here and we grind. Every day we work out. So our soundtrack and our playlist. Today we going to Nipsey. Nipsey got a song called Loaded Bases. Nipsey got a song called Loaded Bases. Nipsey got a song called Loaded Bases. If you understand Loaded Bases, and if you put the theme of the album behind Loaded Bases, you say Loaded Bases, Victory Lap Marathon. And that's every person who steps up to the plate hits a grand slam. Then we load the bases again. Then the fourth person steps up to the bat, hits a grand slam. Loaded bases, victory lap, marathon. Just think about it. Loaded bases, victory lap, marathon continues over and over and over. And what that is going into neighborhoods where we come from, where the whole world thinks we losers. And Loaded Bases, Victory Lap Marathon says, not only are we going to win, we're about to punish the competition. We're about to embarrass you for even challenging our throne. The Loaded Bases Victory Lap Marathon says every person on this team, after the person in front of us hits a grand slam, we're going to fill the bases again, and then the next person up is going to hit a grand slam. We prophetically are telling you, we're going to run up the scoreboard on you. We stopped playing American baseball because the European baseball players are so fake. That's why we stopped playing baseball. They don't have power to hit, so they gotta take steroids. They can't beat us running and stealing bases, so they gotta take steroids. They can't pitch as fast as, throw as hard as we can, so they gotta take steroids. And we like, yo, I thought this was area white supremacy. What happened? This is why we focus on recreation. We ain't got to argue about nothing. We ain't got to pick up guns. You do them a favor. You do them a favor when you pick up guns, when you go and you do the unnatural. All our ancestors used to do is, you want to challenge the throne? Let's go. Let's get in the ring. Let's get on the field. Let's get on the court. All we trying to tell y'all is, yo, we got money on y'all. From the time y'all come out the womb, we got money on y'all. We say anybody in our crew is the best in the world at what we do. And don't nobody else get to play. Don't nobody else get to say who on the teams. The people who played with me, that's who the coaches. The people who invested in us, that's who the owners are. The people who break bread and love Xavier and Dasia, that's who gonna break bread and invest and return and receive return on income from. I'm telling y'all. If you out here begging people to pay you $15 an hour, do y'all know that the US dollar, the value of the US, listen, even if they raise the minimum, listen, you go in there and work your 9 to 5, listen, they have destroyed your economy. I'm telling y'all right now, if you don't take this next 4 years to take the financial vision and dream that my mom was trying to give, we got the vision, we got all the resources around us, and either you could get with this or you could get with that. But listen, where they're taking you to, they already practiced it around the world. You got 2 places to look at. 3 places. First, you got to look at the Ebola. Okay? So they watched the Ebola virus in 2015. And they didn't study how they could end it. They studied how they could create vaccines, create panic, and make it worse. That's the first place. You need to understand you're being taken through the Ebola epidemic again. Then you need to look at Zimbabwe, how they crashed the Zimbabwe economy. Then you need to look in South America and look at Venezuela, and they crashed the Venezuela economy right now. And no matter how much of their dollar that they have $1 million bills, and they can't even buy bread with that. That's where you're headed. So if they increase your hourly wage to $15, understand this happened in Germany too, Weimar Germany, the Weimar Republic. Go back and look at it. Right during World War II, it's called inflation. And by the time y'all wake up and realize it, it's over for you. If you don't have a plan in place, if you're not investing against inflation, if you're not putting in, and if you don't know how to do that, you can't find it in school. They won't teach. They don't even teach it in college courses. You don't get it in business school. You got all these people with MBAs and all of that. And listen, they're going to be just as impoverished as you because they don't teach finances in business school, in university. I'm telling y'all that y'all have your talent and asset is the physical dominion that you have and possess. And if you don't learn how to monetize that and cut out all of the middlemen in your life, and all we telling y'all is we're going to show y'all how to do it. Matter of fact, we already did it. We already built the infrastructure. We just saying come plug in. All right. So as I run these laps and put this workout in, I'm going to play my playlist. First, we're going to start with Nipsey Hussle, Loaded Bases. lucky, we should go to Vegas. 2018 motor transportation. Got me feeling over anxious. That's my family's name. The will of the sun, baby. We do the will of the sun. Lil Reese. Wasn't supposed to make it out with the code of matrix. And when they get to speak, it's like a coded language. Reminds me that they strengthen all the stolen greatness. We inside the mobile station. Full circle, mobile motivation. Self-educators rule negotiations. These sharks that I'm sitting at this table with afraid to bait. No 10 on my Mercedes, that's for inspiration. 2 kilos on my neck like the natives. West side slots and have no my demonstration. Born and raised, all affiliated. It's really greatness. Riding around like I really made it. Loaded bases, I'm going Willie Mason. Yeah. Listen to my ambition, cause I'm on one. Swinging for the fences for the home run. Even further beyond into the universe. But I got to make it to first. It feels like every second's being stolen. I risk it for every ticket we sold them. You got the ball, I'ma take it home. Bottom line, I'ma make it home. I was sitting on my leg and I start thinking, I ain't gonna make 100 mil off in these traces. More than likely, I'm gonna end up in somebody racing. Even worse than Karen's front the church, laid off in the hearse, I dealt with it. I ain't just out here for my help with it. I weigh the risk and the reward and sink the scale tipping. Let's all get on one accord and take the world. Take the money, take the power, and the girls with us. Can't buy that boy that they sell me. They bring drug heads and children. Look all these ways they get real. That's why I respect me to the utmost when you see me, so I feel. Cause I ain't failed. I seen it coming, then I tell you. Different lanes, same passion for the mail. Switch lanes, all black, 2 glass ceilings. B12 too fast. Gone. Listen to my ambition, cause I'm on one. Swinging for the fences for the home run. Even further beyond into the universe. But I've got to make it to first. It feels like every second's being stolen. I risk it for every ticket we sold them. You got the ball, I'ma take it home. Bottom line, I'm gonna make it home. Razor sharp from the heart, boy. Razor sharp from the heart. I'm gonna take y'all to the crib for a second. Hey, listen, yo. This was my mama's dream, yo. This is where my mom shined at. There was no place where I saw my mom light up more than when she was in the booth. The world never got to see her vision and dream fulfilled, but to see her nephew invest in on top of what Big Stan invested in. Listen, this the second studio that my mom dreamed about, yo. First studio. When me and my brother Stillborn, Craig Morgan, dropped our album in the 90s. Mom brought us home to showcase the album and had us perform in Trenton. Listen, it was my mom's dream to be a producer, to be a film and music producer. It was my mom's dream. It was my mom's dream to use recreation, all while the babies are school age, use recreation to develop their talents and then monetize their talents when they are professional, whatever it is. It could be football, it could be track, it could be basketball, but it's in the arts. It could be arts, graphic design, it could be design and fashion, it could be graffiti, or if it is in acting, singing, dancing, I don't care what it is, monetize it, create the studio, produce, yo. Don't let not near one of my babies become a statistic chasing jobs. Don't let not near one of my babies who got all of this talent. So to Dollar Bill, to Stan, to Treat, John Webb's babies, who had the same dream and vision, the same vision, dropped albums, song one more time. I'm gonna break it down for you, and I'm gonna let y'all know what it means in connection with what my kids are inviting the family to join them in. My kids have bought into the same vision and dream to make their grandma Bev's dream a reality in business. So when you see Holywood Studios, you're seeing my mom's vision. When you see me and our kids, my kids, you're not seeing us. You're seeing individuals who are working towards fulfilling a dream. And we inviting every last one of her babies and her loved ones to be a part of that. And what Nip said in this song is the perfect mindset to go along with you want to get the game face for Holywood Studio. Loaded Bases will put you in the mindset to have the proper Holywood Studios game face. I'm gonna break it down. Team motor transportation got me feeling over anxious like a homeless back. Feeling lucky we should go to Vegas. Feeling lucky. Feeling lucky we should go to Vegas. My mom's baby brother. What up, Vegas? My mom's baby brother. The youngest brother calls himself Vegas. The moment I heard that, I thought of my uncle. I'm feeling lucky we should go to Vegas. Coming to see you, Unc. Motor transportation got me feeling over anxious like a homeless baby. My dough inflated and I'm more creative. My dough inflated and I'm more creative. Understand, you gotta always keep you always gotta keep the original song that he dropped on the album is I Ain't Nothing Like You Rap Niggas. Listen, if y'all listening to this, I'm trying to tell you, I don't care where you fall. Christianity, I don't care where you fall. In your job, I don't care where you fall. Listen, God's children, from the very beginning, he said are supposed to have enmity. First, he said you're supposed to have dominion. And you're supposed to have enmity as far as the east is from the west, from slaves, from vagabonds. Okay, I'm talking about blessings and curses. The very beginning, God said, my children I bless, the challenger to my rule, any of his rebellious children, I curse. So to my children who I've blessed, I blessed you with dominion. It's your job every day to work out, to come and maintain enmity. Enmity means total separation. That's Genesis 1 and 2. He divided his seed between the serpent seed, and he blessed his seed, and he cursed the serpent seed, and he called the serpent seed vagabonds, restless wanderers. And he told his children, you have dominion, but you got to do several things to prove that you have not fumbled dominion. Be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, subdue the earth, and maintain enmity. So if you ain't doing all of those things to take back your inheritance, that is the only to-do list that you should have. Dominion, be fruitful, multiply. And then he told you specifically how he wants you to multiply. Beloved is those who he blessed. He is not talking about those who he cursed. All men are not created equal. Because if he blessed some and cursed some, are we all equal? No. If he put enmity between his seed and the serpent seed, and he called the serpent seed vagabonds, and he said, cursed will be the ground, it will not produce for you in its strength. And then he said, to his seed, I'll give you daily bread. Give us this day our daily bread. So how do you maintain daily bread? Pressed down, shaken together, running over. How do you maintain abundant? I came that you might have life and have it abundantly. How do you have abundant life? Have dominion, be fruitful, multiply, replenish the earth, subdue it by maintaining enmity. That is a rock. All of those things are located in, as long as you have this thing, you have abundant life. The moment that you let the vagabond bait and switch you into taking a job, they're going to take the rock of ages. Cleft for me. They want the rock of ages because he cursed them. They want you to take something that is valueless and meaningless that they created, and they claim to be able to transfer value to something. But he said, curse will be the ground. Nothing they can't create. But if you maintain dominion, if you stay fruitful, if you multiply, if you replenish the earth and subdue it, you will always have enmity and you will always rule. That's the rock. So we're gonna take 108 days and we're gonna give my children and all of y'all who follow us over these 108 days, we're gonna give y'all the currency and the coins of enmity. You gotta first learn the principles and learn the playbook before we could put you on the field and have you execute fruitfulness in the economy. It don't make sense to give you the currency and you don't understand the financial principles. You still got the same mindset of the Willie Lynch theory. You still got the broken mindset. You still got you don't have the daily bread mindset. So we're gonna give you the fundamental principles of the daily bread. Then we're gonna give you the rock, which is the coins and the money and the banks that go along with the economy that he gave you, that go along with the principles. The reason I'm taking you to Nipsey Hussle is because that same group that my mom anointed, a hip-hop preacher anointed us too. E.T. the hip-hop preacher. So when we speak in the mother tongue of hip-hop, anybody who speaks in our mother tongue will be able to translate the language so I can go back and forth between Nipsey and E.T. and get the same exact message across. Then I could go back to Bev, and then I could switch out Bev for Frank. I could switch out Frank for Kanisha. Then I could go back to Spider Loke. Then I could put Spider Loke's mom in there for Bev. Then I could switch Spider Loke's mom for Beyonce. Because Beyonce and Kanisha had the same exact spirit. I'm going to show it to you. Just like you could switch out Nas and me. Nas has the same exact spirit towards his child. He named his daughter Destiny. We named our daughter Destiny. I could show you song after song at the same exact principles that we've been teaching our children all their life. He'll drop an album, and it's the same stuff we've been telling our sons and daughters right there in the album. Same thing with Beyonce. The same principles. I'm talking about principles. I ain't talking about no entertainment. I'm talking about fundamental principles that you train up a child in the way it should go. Listen, they are individuals who have been spitting the hip-hop mother tongue because y'all haven't been trained to hear it. Y'all been trained to accept Yo MTV raps. And y'all don't know that there's supposed to be enmity between hip-hop mother tongue and Yo MTV rap. Lying lip abominations. There's a difference. It's supposed to be enmity. The Yo MTV rap lying lip abominations are the vagabond who trying to bait and switch you into getting your Rock of Ages. And when you identify with Yo MTV raps, you fumbled. And that's why you got to grind with us. That's why you got to work out. Because when the new season comes up, when you get out of shape, when the coach know you got potential, the coach takes you through training camp. Before training camp, because he don't want to have to cut you, he don't want to have to get another player to replace you, he does strength and conditioning for you. Coaches, we go out of our way to make sure that individuals that we've already invested in don't get cut. All while you out in the off season, tricking off, now you out of shape. Now you ain't fast like you was. Now you put on weight. Now you slow. Now you getting beat. Now you fumbling. Now you can't even catch. You can't even tackle. I'm trying to save your spot on the team. That's why we grind like we do. I don't want you to have to get cut. We've already invested so much. It would be a waste of time to have to start over with somebody new. I don't want you to get cut. That's why we do what we do. And if you don't take the opportunity, if you can't see the difference between what we do and what these clowns take from you, everywhere else they only taking. Everywhere else they only prostituting you. Everywhere else they only using you to extract from you what they can get from you. The only people who invest without looking for nothing in return is us. The only people who break bread. Listen, we don't need nothing from you. We get it directly from the King of Kings. That's the difference between us and the European. The European needs you to make money. The European needs chattel slavery because the European is the vagabond. And when you play in today's system, in any way, shape, or form, you the slave and they the master. Signed a couple big deals, but it's no parade. Just a couple every generation. Signed a couple deals, but it's no parading. Signed a couple big deals, but it's no parading. What MTV rap niggas? Bling bling. Signed a couple big deals, but it's no parading. It ain't no flash over here. I ain't celebrating till I win it, until I own it all. Y'all premature. Y'all trying to get attention, yo. If you a winner, you don't need attention. All of the attention is going to be on you if you become a winner. You don't have to seek attention. Winning does that automatically. It's losers who want attention without putting the grind in order to be a winner. That's what MTV Raps trained y'all to be. That's why they call it clout chasing. Clout chasing is losers who don't have the work ethic to win, but want to get the same attention. That's what a clout chaser is. Y'all know? They done programmed your whole generation to be clout chasers. When you came from lions that win. I'll come back later and finish breaking the whole joint down. Peace.